internet user. My name is Gary of Gary's Wares, and normally I make wooden pipes out of exotic hardwoods. But on my business card it says that and sundries. And sundries is a word for, you know, things and stuff or whatever. So this is one of the things and stuff or whatever that I made. It's a 6-shift knob that I put on my dad's Jeep for Father's Day. And the cool thing is I made him watch this video before he saw it in real life. Happy Father's Day, Dad. Anyway, I'm going to show you how I made this, but to do it I have to go back a few days when the weather wasn't so gloomy with the magic of editing. So this is my dad's Jeep. It's got a lot of modifications. You can see this is the kind of vehicle where when you roll up the window, you really roll up the window. You see that stick over there? That is what's keeping this door closed. He has since adopted a seatbelt policy, which, well, I approve of. But you know, he's into practical solutions, if not inelegant ones. So there is the stick shift, and I've already taken it off, and thankfully for me it's the kind that screws off, not the kind that you have to yank the hell out of, and hopefully you don't smack yourself in the teeth and have to go to the dentist to get off. So it just unscrews, and I've already got the dimensions, so let's go take a look at that. So this is a schematic of what I'm gonna do. You can see once I glue, what I'm going to do is the bottom part is going to be padauk, that wood, that stuff, padauk. The bottom part's going to be that, the top part's going to be zebrawood, and for the little cap, and so what's going to happen is I'm glue it all together, and then I'm going to drill a series of holes. First one's going to be 3/8 of an inch, and then 7/8 of an inch, and then an inch. Actually, I may do it backwards, and I'm sort of limited because my drill press only goes down to 2 inches, but my dad's goes down 3, which is what I'm going to need. This one goes, yeah. So maybe I don't. You know what? I'm going to try to do as much of it on this as I can. But the cap is going. I thought for a minute to do whinge because I have that in this size stock, but then I thought, well, I've got ebony, and the cap only needs to be an inch, and so this is an inch, and then perfect. So that's what I'm going to use, and I'm not going to have a whole lot of clearance. This is the stick shift, so it's threaded 1.5 inches throughout it, but it's got this cap thing that you could tighten at the bottom. And so the 5/8 of an inch is what this is, and so I'm only going to barely have enough room to get that on. And there's also going to be a washer in there, so it's going to be somewhat more like that, but that should be enough. That'll be enough to hold it in place, and plus I'm going to drill something on the bottom I'll show you later, but that is what I've got so far. So it's been an hour, and it's glued, it's ready to go. I'm ready to drill it. I'm going to go backwards from what I said before. So I'm going to drill that first, and then that first, and then finally that at the end. And I forgot my drill press goes at 2.5 inches, and the deepest I need this to go is 2 3/8. So that'll work. Anyway, so when you do this, make sure that you take into account, or if you do this, make sure you take into account the brad tip of a Forstner bit along with the depth setting of your plunge of your drill press. Wow, that was a lot there. Otherwise, you're going to drill shallow holes. Alright, well, the proof's in the pudding. Let me go try it on real fast. So you can see here, it's had the hole drilled through it, and I took it over to the Jeep and I measured, or I put it on there, and it works fine. It could work just fine now as a stick shift. Nah, but well, I'm gonna make it a little better. I had a bit like this that drills little holes. I'm not exactly pleased with how that came out. That could have been done better, but what that's going to do is, this is the actual nut that is used to tighten up against the stick shift, and that's what keeps the nut, that's what keeps the stick shift and the nut that's inside tight and, you know, not shifting about, that sort of thing. So drilling a hole like this is going to help, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to shape around here. I'm going to take away a lot of this material. Still kind of maintain this basic shape, I think. But this is going to rest, the inside of this is going to be up against that, and it's going to be more tension, and I think it's going to be a better design. And so I'll get to shaping. And here's what I'm left with. And you see how, maybe a little clearer how this works. The reason I had that little lip, this little plateau here, so it will sort of rest up against that. And I got rid of some of the rust on it with that. So next up is I'm going to shape this to fit the hand a little better. So I'm going to take this big meaty part here, gonna make a little divot for that, maybe make a couple finger grooves up here, maybe a little place to put your thumb. I think that'd be about it. Yeah, yes, here it is with the contours. So I put 2 finger slots here, I took away this corner and that corner, and put a little thumb groove. It feels pretty good to me, but that's my hand. I think it'll work. So now I'm gonna sand it up good in all the ways I know how to sand, and it'll look something like this. And so it looks a lot better. Sanding always tends to do that. And I made the little plug that will go in here, and go like that, and then the post thing, good, get in there. It's looking good. Vroom, vroom, vroom. So now I just gotta put finish on it. So here it is, the pieces, 2 pieces, and they with 2 coats on them, and they've been polished. There's a couple things I did wrong, I didn't do right, so let's go over my missteps before we go over how awesome it is, because it really is pretty good, I think. I didn't do my due diligence on the sanding. See that big thing? There's a reason it's on the bottom, that big crease. It's not on the top. Top did pretty good, but that's not good. I sanded the plug. I sanded the plug a little too close, and it doesn't fit as snugly as I'd like. The hole, I think, was drilled pretty well, so what I did was I gooped a bunch of finish in there, a lot more than I needed to, and I think it's going to act as like a weak adhesive to sort of keep it in there just in case. And I don't think I pointed this out. Let me see if I can get it close enough. And come on, focus. Do it. Anyway, you see there's a little notch right there, and that's so you could get a screwdriver in there and get the plug out in case, for whatever reason, like you would ever want to remove this. This is so awesome, right? Let's go put it on. How about that? So I gave my dad the stick shift knob, and he was pleased with it in his stoic sort of manner. But he did find a problem with it, and he said if I don't fix it, he's going to use this as target practice, so I better fix it. The problem is that this is more of a design for like an automatic transmission where you just go back and forth. With a manual transmission, what you want is more of like a knob, an actual knob, like something to grab onto. And he said it was, it was sort of, it wasn't as ergonomically pleasing as it could have been. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this to the sander, which is good for me because it gives me a chance to clean this up. Oh man, do I ever not like looking at that. But so I've drawn this line, and that's 5/8 of an inch, and that's where the hole gets suddenly wider on the inside, and so I don't need to shape anything past this point. And I've made little yellow marks. There's one right there, and one right there, so that when I take it up to the sander, I know when to stop, because this little yellow mark tells me the inside. That's where the inside of the hole is, and if I go any farther past that, then I've ruined it, and I don't want to do that. So this is what it looks like. So I'm gonna go shape it. All right, so I've now shaped it, and it's a bit more knobbish. You've something to grab onto, and it'll be mo better. I think that'll work. Yeah. Now I just gotta clean it up. So this is what it looks like, cleaned up and finished. And I took a bit more off with the Dremel. I think it's got a better look. And I definitely see what he's saying. With the manual transmission, you definitely want a knob. You definitely want something you grab onto instead of just, a thing at the end of a stick. Now, if you'll notice, it matches the rest of the Jeep. Red, tan top, tinted windows. This has got red of the padauk, which is how you say that, tan with the zebrawood, and the black with the ebony. And I sanded the ever-loving crap out of this, and if you look close, you can actually see the grain, which is not something you're supposed to do with ebony. It's supposed to be solidly black, but there you go. So this is something that I do occasionally, but not typically. What I typically make are wooden pipes out of exotic hardwoods. Get ready for my sales pitch. So, I make typically pipes like this. This is an 8-inch with a twist, 8-inch twisted pipe, same thing. I make these, but I also make smaller stuff. These are pill bottle pipes. They're made specifically to fit inside of pill bottles, and those are chillums, 2-inch long chillums. I also make big stuff, big foot long pipe, 6-inch pipes, stuff like that. And back there, that's an 8-inch chillum. And rings, I make all kinds of stuff. If you're interested in any of this stuff, hit me up on Gary's Wares on Facebook. Just search for Facebook. I think I put it up there just now. And thanks for watching.